Hello and welcome to our reflections on April the 12th, which is our day of partial liberation. We can go and get a haircut, which some of us need more than others maybe. We can go to that shop that we've been really wanting to go to and buy that thing that we've really felt that we needed for so long. We can go to the gym. We can do a lot of things that we couldn't do before. So welcome to April the 12th, day of liberation. I was going to liberate myself from the usual view of the study that you have got rather fed up with, I'm sure, by now, whether it's the right way around or not. And I went up to the place that I'd chosen, and I got out the car and I walked 200 yards or so to get the best landscape view, and I did the filming, and I got back in the car and I listened to it, and it was so windy that all you could hear was the wind howling. So I gave up on that idea and I'm back home again. The place that I'd gone to was Longavicium, the Roman fort of Lancaster. And there was a good reason for it, because today is the start of daily readings in our Methodist prayer handbook from Paul's letter to the Christians in Rome. Longavicium, as you know, was a Roman fort. It's up on the top of the hill, so that the Romans could oversee what was happening down below. And the empire stretched all over the place, as you also know, even further north than us, and as far east as nearly to India, down into the top part of Africa, all over the place. Rome was the overlord of the known world. It was used to mastery, to power. It was an empire. And so when Paul starts his letter to Rome, the way in which he actually begins it is very significant. He talks about himself as a servant or a slave, almost immediately saying, this is not going to be anything to do with the empire that you live in and you know all too well. That this is a different order of things, for this is the kingdom of God, where God is sovereign, not some human beings. And he establishes himself right at the start of the letter in rather humble but specific terms. He talks of himself as a servant, and he talks of himself as an apostle, which is a technical word from the Greek which means sent out on a mission. That's his role in life, to be on a mission, to talk to people, to write to people about the love of God that he has found in Jesus. The love of God which is bigger, mightier, more powerful than anything else, including the empire. And he talks of himself as well as set apart. In other words, he's not going to go with the mainstream. He's not going to go with the flow. He's going to do something different from the way in which the world operates. I hope that as we go through the reflections on the letter to the Roman Christians, that we'll find out some more about the very different way in which Paul was encouraging the Christians to follow compared to the government. So today is a day of liberation for us from the various restrictions, but it's also one of establishing ourselves and also, I think, extending ourselves, because today happens to be as well the 60th anniversary of Yuri Gagarin being the first man in space. It was 1961 And a lot has happened since, hasn't it? But the people back then thought that this was the start of an amazing new adventure, a new beginning. Their imagination extended beyond anything that they had thought of before, imprisoned as they thought we were on this orb called our planet. Yes, it was a day of high hopes, of exhilaration that we had broken out, liberation, extending our horizons. I hope that today we won't just get excited about the thought of going for a haircut, but we'll begin to take seriously this encouragement to extend our imaginations, to broaden our horizons, to be a servant of others. Yes, sometimes people that we haven't yet met, but we will be sent out as apostles. We will be set apart from the ways of the world, and we discover in the process more about ourselves and more about God's love, more about our role in a world that's crying out for good news. God bless you today.